of harmony. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Oh, guys, this is seriously a channeled message that I wasn't ready to make. But hey, when Spirit asks something of you, what you gonna do, right? Just gonna wait for anyone to get into the room who feels the need to. And I just want to start by just making sure it's clear that I'm not necessarily sure if I'm going to leave this video on my page, as it is actually a subject matter that I feel that is a bit concerning. Hi, how are you going? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Let me see if I can't I'm hearing 777333. Maybe that's a birth date. Maybe that's some kind of significant. Yeah. Okay, great. Is that too much heat there? Guys, I'm so not ready to do this, but like I have to, because Spirit has told me it's very important this message goes out today. So if you're seeing this message is meant for you, etc., etc. Now let me see. I just want to make sure that we've got lots of protection today, because this is a very complex, it's a bit of an uncomfortable message. Yeah. I'll just leave it like that. So if you are joining us, please understand this may not stay on my timeline. So if you happen to see it today, if you're here, then yeah, just know that's it's not gonna stay on my timeline necessarily, unless Spirit tells me to, you know. So I'm feeling quite uncomfortable about, is uncomfortable the right word? Maybe uncomfortable isn't the right word. Hi guys, thanks for being here. I was just saying I'm feeling a little bit apprehensive about this video. Just a little bit apprehensive. Yeah. Is there anything else that I need before we begin? Is there anything that I need before we begin? Maybe I'll light a third candle. Hi guys. Definitely a little bit nervous about this one. Okay, what have we got? This is a nice scented candle. Maybe you're into candles. Is that gonna work there? Is that a good spot? Oh, I could just put it here. Okay. Wow. I have so many channeled messages about this particular subject matter. Is that good? Is that good? Okay. Let me get my antenna out, right? And calling in protection. I just heard nice guys stand tall. I think I channeled that some time ago. And opening up the space. And cleaning the crown chakra. Extra protection. So this is definitely a sensitive message. So please make sure you do not listen to or watch this when there are children present or anybody who is a vulnerable, you know, a vulnerable person. What I might do is actually just cover up. How can I do that? I don't know. If I use this, and then what do I do? And then maybe, what can I use? I'm just going to cover this up so I'm not too distracted. Let's see if that stays there. That might not stay there. Oh yeah, the camera. Sorry. I I'm so silly. Let's see, does that work? And then I'm not distracted by people rushing in and out of the room, you know? Oh, maybe that's not going to work either. What's this up here? Oh, blue tack. That's perfect. Oh, okay. If it's your first time being here, thank you for being here. If you're returning, thank you. Thank you for everyone who clicks like, shares, and subscribes here at YouTube at Codes of Harmony. This is a really, really huge message. So please keep in mind it is highly sensitive. Make sure there are no children present when you are listening to this message. There we go. That's better. Oh, 5:55 on the tick over clock. Yeah, okay, that works, right? Yeah, that totally works. Do you need it zoomed in some more? Thank you for your patience. I really appreciate it. Oh, but I want you to definitely be able to see the... Maybe if I do that. Is that better? Seeing the camera. Seeing a train. I'm seeing a tree. Seeing a tiny little car. I just want to also say that I have no judgments around people who have fetishes that they practice in a healthy, safe, and consensual way. But that's not what this message is about. So anybody that happens to see this video who does practice or have fetishes or kinks that they practice in a healthy and consensual way, I have no judgment around you. And anyone who's joining us, just so you know, I can't see the number. I've just stuck, and maybe this is, you're a content creator, this might help you if you're ever doing live streams. Isn't that funny, the word live stream? So interesting considering the context of this video, okay? So yeah, I've stuck a little piece of paper so I can't actually see how many people are in the room or if anyone's even in the room watching this. So don't feel like pressured or anything. And of course I've got the chat switched off because, like I said, this is a highly sensitive subject matter. But Spirit says it's time to expose this. What are they? How did it come across? I have pages and pages of notes. So this is going to be a long reading. I may do it in 2 parts, maybe. That also means peace, doesn't it? Okay, here we go. Okay. An international coprophilia cult / group. So some people in this group, and remember this is channeled messages, I do have my cards here, do not shoot the messenger, okay? But apparently this is a widespread, multifaceted group that crosses over multiple cultures, countries, and families. Coprophilia, which is a word I've only just learned in researching for this, or scatophilia, derived from a Greek word, which means feces. I will also say that I am quite grossed out by this message. I'm quite disgusted and grossed out by this entire group. But again, I repeat that I am not, these messages are not about people who practice fetishes or kinks within the privacy and safety of their own home without breaking anyone's consent, or endangering anybody, of course, including themselves, and that there is no kink shaming going on here. This is specifically about an international online cult that is apparently a bit of a, Spirit is saying it's an epidemic that has spread far and wide over the internet. Oh, okay, so just calling in extra protection. Like I said, if I am too grossed out by this, I'm just going to leave the room and then come back. And I really hope that I don't cause any offense to people that practice fetishes or cults in a safe, consensual way. Okay, so coprophiliac is someone with an interest in excrement, especially use of feces or filth during sexual excitement. So this is like it's like they're saying it's on all of the apps. I don't know exactly what that means. Like I associate an app with like a space like this, like YouTube. Clearing all projections. Yeah. Operating via social media messages like Telegram and WhatsApp, as well as content creation apps such as YouTube. And I guess that also crosses over into TikTok, all that. Like it's probably all of them. Ugh. It's a really dangerous, the really dangerous element of these people is these people, I channeled all these messages before I pressed the record button. These people are trying to lure targeted victims and survivors into meeting offline. So I guess Spirit wants us to know that this isn't just online. These are people that are trying to take this cult, this kind of gross, creepy cult, into, you know, even though online is reality, like you know that I'm a real person, you're a real person, this is a real phone. So online is real life, but they're definitely highlighting that the really dangerous members of these groups are actually trying to coerce and lure people into meeting offline. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Spirit, God, the Creator, Prime Source is saying it is time for this cult to be exposed. Okay, this group has infiltrated most social media apps and online spaces. There will be stories and statements that will be brought forward by ex-cult members. While this kind of fetish has existed historically, it has traditionally been taboo or looked down upon. Due to the increase in people gathering in online spaces, it has created a new interest in coprophilia. Coprophilia. I'm not really sure how to... It's so gross. Like, it's so gross. Sorry. This international cult has varied levels of transparency around the reason they get excited about excrement and body fluid, some masking it as bullying or teasing while hiding their sexual pleasure or depraved pleasures. Let's just get a card on that, hey? Ooh. Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands, which is fast-moving energy. Very fast moving. So once the stories start coming out about the members of this cult, once the stories actually start coming out, this is what's going to happen. So competition, people lying, people trying to cover their tracks, and it's going to be a fast moving energy. Okay, 1313 on the tick over clock. What else have we got? This international... Oh, I just read that bit. So some of the words that came through are taboo, shame, kink, secret code words, affairs, orgies, pornography, adrenaline, fetishing, and fantasies connected to this subject matter. Okay, actions of this group: breaking consent, breaking into homes to collect DNA samples and souvenirs, is what they call them, of people who they want to see use the bathroom. So creepy. Oh, by the way, the image on this is like the, what do you call it? The thumbnail? That's such a weird word. That's so weird. The tech industry is so fascinating. Anyways, let me stay focused. Clearing the crown chakra. Yeah, the thumbnail on this video is an image of Katy Perry, who I'm not saying, I don't know for sure, but may or may not be involved in this cult, right? And please remember, these are channeled messages. These are not my opinions. These are channeled messages from God, from Source Creator, and maybe from you, from your higher self. Maybe you know somebody who's part of this group, or you yourself are part of this group and you want this to be exposed. Other actions are touching others impulsively, tampering with food and drinks to try control people's body functions and bowel movements. This is also fucking bizarre to me. Oh, sorry, excuse the language. This is also bizarre to me. Ugh. Oh yeah, also sexual assault and abuse. Recommendations. Oh, hold on, let's get a card on that. Oh, the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is actually, that's the Pope. That's an image of the Pope. So I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying that, you know, there could be religious factors. What does that mean? Religious factors involved. And this can also be seen as a marriage card, something to do with marriage. So someone you know could be involved in this cult. They could be a couple, you know, married or otherwise. Another card, please, Spirit, as we try and get our way through this kind of revolting message. The Five of Cups. Yeah, cups. So cups might be significant. You may be a water sign, you may be connected to water signs. But obviously there are people from all different zodiac signs in this online cult. If you have children or disabled, these are some recommendations. If you have children or disabled and or neurodivergent dependents, talk to them about the importance of not letting strangers into the bathroom with them. Be cautious and aware if they stay at someone else's home overnight or are babysat. Watch out for any stories or signs that anyone might be part of this dangerous online cult. If they mention a teacher, babysitter, or family member, asking them about bodily functions such as urine and feces. If anyone has taken a phone or camera into the bathroom, or when bath time is happening, or when somebody using the bathroom is taking place. Also, if your child starts talking about the bathroom more than usual. Obviously, keeping in mind, all kids are different, right? And everybody's learning. You could say that about adults too. Maybe someone's giving someone some karma, I'm not sure. Let me see. Channeled messages about this online coprophilia/scatophilia cult. Addicted to video or photographs of coprophilia, often has or have had issues with drugs or addiction, obsessed with body functions and or body fluid. They may have anger issues. They may be into domination or dom or sub fetishes. So lots of fetishes seem to be crossing over. Please give me clear and divine guidance who are most beneficial for. Yeah, thank you, God. Thank you. Childhood trauma or abuse in childhood may have taken place, which of course different abuses can affect different body functions, right? Many of the members are guilty of animal abuse, dominating or harming pets, be them their pets or other people's pets. They share tips and images of and about coprophilia. A lot of heterosexual couples and single men. That's so weird, isn't it? Many of them do child abuse and find pleasure in controlling their children. So it seems like Spirit's actually bringing this forward as a message that's also a very important informational warning. You might know somebody who's in this creepy online cult, or you may be getting, you might have children or who get looked after by them. You may even have a partner, a husband, or wife or other who is part of this creepy online cult. So your children might not be safe. Yeah? Let alone yourself and the adults that they target. Ooh. So some of the different varying people that we can describe them as is peeping toms who get excited to see strangers using the bathroom. What the far out, right? What the F, right? I'll repeat that. Peeping toms. So peeping toms is somebody who looks through the window, who tries to look through curtains, This could even be a housemate. This could be somebody who lives on the same property as you. This could be somebody who is at your workplace. This is even happening at workplaces. Clearing the throat chakra. Doctors, nurses, and medical staff who get turned on by body functions and genitals. So if you work in a medical field, particularly if you're a boss, particularly if you are the director, particularly if you have quite a lot of power, keep an eye out for this. And if you see any signs of this, or if somebody sends you, evidence on the internet that somebody who works in this medical, wherever you are medically, is part of this online cult, and they get excited or turned on by body functions and genitals, they need to be fired immediately and blacklisted. I think that's the word, blacklisted. Yeah. A number of them are wealthy, so they seek thrills unconventionally. It's interesting because, I've known a few sex workers, and some of them are the smartest, most amazing people, and they do speak about this particularly like dominatrixes, is that the word? DOMs. They will speak about how a lot of their clients are extremely wealthy people, usually men, often men who identify as heterosexual. Ironically, it's like because they have so much power and control with all of their money, and often they're CEOs or whatever. I just heard tech industry again. These people, it's like they need their thrill seeking to be very unconventional in order to, get more excited, I guess, because they're so used to dominating people. So a lot of them actually like to be dominated. Yeah. Oh, it's so gross. And traders and producers of porn material. PORN is how you spell that. And obviously a number of that is video and photographs of people who do not consent to this, are not getting paid for it, and some of them are not even aware that it's happening. So, yeah. God, I just saw red, white, and blue in my mind's eye. Thank you for being here at YouTube. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for clicking like, share, and subscribe. Okay, recommendations. More recommendations from me that were channeled from Spirit. Understand that many of the people in this internet online coprophilia cult may look stereotypically normal, meaning that how someone presents in terms of their sexuality is often a cover for having sexual fantasies involving body fluids and body functions. Yuck! Signs that your friend or family member who is an adult, right, in brackets, who is an adult, is involved in this harmful group include web searches, browser history, and online algorithms that suggest media involving body functions, such as jokes and storylines involving urine and feces. Magazines, they may have magazines, posters, or art that features images of bathrooms, just as like Katy Perry on this video. I think she grew up in the church. Oh, I think I channeled about that later. Such as, sorry, what was I saying? That's right. They may have magazines, posters, or artwork that features images of bathrooms, such as home renovation magazines, paintings, artistic photographs, or even PORN depicting coprophilia. Some of you may be connected to the police force, right? That's just coming through right now. Often the PORN material will be hidden or even turned into digital files. Well, doesn't that sound familiar, right? There's some big important news happening in the world about certain files. You may notice they over-focus on the lower back and buttocks area of the body, as well as the stomach. Oh, gosh. I just heard something about oranges. Let's get some cards on that. What have we got here? Please give us clear and divine discernment that'll be most beneficial. Thank you for being here at YouTube. What would we do without YouTube, right? We have King of Pentacles. You may be an earth sign, you may be connected to an earth sign, which is funny because earth is like dirt, you know, and there's definitely elements connected to that going on here. And let's get one or two more cards connected to that. Then you have the Two of Pentacles. Oh, can you see that? Two of Pentacles. And the Six of Cups, which has to do with memories. Yeah? Okay. Yes, yes. You may notice they overfocus. Oh, I already said that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, particularly focusing on the lower back and buttocks area of the body. This may be seen when the potential coprophile touches, looks at, or speaks about these areas of the body. So you may notice that they kind of work it into the conversation. You may catch them looking at your lower body half, or trying to making up excuses to touch or be near your lower body half or your stomach. Sadly, for some cult members, this extends to animal and family pets, as well as children, elders, and disabled folks. So disgusting. Again, I just want to repeat that this is not about people who practice fetishes or kinks within the privacy of their home with consent and safety. You know, this is not about this. I do not believe in kink shaming, but I do believe in human rights, if you didn't notice. Let me just get some. Okay, members of this group cult may be hiding their involvement because they are in churches or religious groups. Let's get a card on that. Oof. Two of Swords, a battle between the heart and the mind. Oh, that wanted to say all sorts of things then, but I'm not going to say that. Ugh. Ugh. The potential coprophile, so funny, coprophile, such a weird word. A lot of you would know the word scat, I guess, is the word. Scatophilia is also another word for it. May make excuses to be in the bathroom with you or someone they find attractive. So, like, the weird thing about this is, like, yeah, they might get extra excitement out of the idea of seeing somebody they really think is pretty or handsome or attractive going to the bathroom. You may notice them getting stimulated, excited, or awkward when excretion is mentioned in a documentary or a movie. This may also happen when they are requested to change a baby's diaper or change a child, help a child get dressed. It's important to know that not all people with a coprophile fetish are child abusers. Sadly, some are. And obviously, if this whole cult is based on violating people, then that's the real danger, isn't it? You know, it's not all jokes and laughs. It's actually a danger. Some of these people have children. Some of these people are caregivers, you know. As caregivers and parents are responsible for helping children to use the bathroom, the risk of child abuse is heightened in this particular online group. And when we say online group, like I said before, we have to remember that the online is just a reflection of what they're doing in real life to people, you know. I said something about neighbors. Let's get a card on that. And I'm seeing Batman in my mind's eye. Ooh, Page of Swords. Yep. Yep. And justice. We like to see that. 30 on the tick over clock. Many members are excited by and aroused by feces as well as vomit, spit, urine, and menstrual blood. Some are also excited by blood in general. You may notice the potential cult members have an unusual fixation on food and drinks that affect bowel movements, such as curries, beans, chilies, spices, certain vegetables like cabbage and eggs, as well as coffee and teas, certain teas, that is. If you notice someone, be it a person or a person in your life or someone online who keeps trying to force or encourage you to consume these types of foods and drinks, they may be part of this dangerous group / cult. Note, not everyone in this large-scale group are aware of the levels of physical, mental, and emotional abuse being acted out by other members. Note, within the group, there is a lot of members pressuring and manipulating each other to engage in coprophilia or scatophilia. So like the way it's coming through is like some people will get lured into this group thinking it's one thing. I just heard like online trend. I just heard like going viral, and then they'll realize at some stage that it's actually got this, it's got to do with this thing, and then by then they're in it. What are they gonna do, Let's make sure we've got lots of protection going on. Okay, where was I? If you need to take a break, if you need to pause this video, if it's gonna stay up, that is, or if you need to step away, I totally understand. And hopefully I'm not outing anybody who's watching this and other people are around seeing them get excited, Ugh. Note, many members of this group start to develop other kinks and sexual desires via the stalking and surveillance and obsessing over the targets / survivors of this group. There is a long, well-documented history of fetishization of Black, brown, and Indigenous people and their bodies. I just heard medical abuse, especially curvy bodies and bodies with well-defined buttocks. This global network of coprophilia / scatophilia cults targets people with bodies like this, as well as people with all types of body shapes and sizes. So there are many members who are racist while still being sexually aroused by marginalized people. Blech! Yuck! That's so... Okay, note. Many members of this group... / cult are part of the online gaming community. Many of them work... I just heard 333-777. Work in... What does that say? Oh, it says or. Work in or have an interest in the tech industry. I just had CEO. Thank you for being here at YouTube. Please click like, share, and subscribe. Because of this, they are able to pass off their scatophilia as a game, like the video games found in the gaming community. Many members keep count of and documentation of people's body functions. This could be family members, strangers, neighbors, partners. I mean, how revolting, how violating, how bizarre, right? What else did I channel here? Because of this, there is a lot of use of technology in the targeting, surveillance, and physical manipulation of victims / survivors. Technology and the internet is heavily used to groom and gain more members. Some use video documentation of new members' body functions to blackmail them into more involvement in the cult. Bless. Themes of purity and cleanliness. Let's just actually shake that off a little bit. Oh my God. Ooh. Themes of purity and cleanliness are essential in understanding this global crisis and the form of this cult. Many associate sex with dirtiness and depravity, making them, I just saw the Bible, making them more susceptible to joining this cult. Ironically, this is steeped in very old notions, often linked to major religions. And then some words that came through there are body shaming, slut shaming, racism, eating disorders, and issues around control are rife in this cult. Clearing, rejecting, rebuking. Superiority and morality. So there's this sense that these people like want to be better than other people, particularly people that on a deeper level, deeply, they are insecure that they're not as good as, you know, which I think happens a lot with a lot of abuse, whether it's, you know, well, you know. Ideas around the beastly or animalistic nature or side of humanity. This is also why there is sadly a higher rate of animal abuse in this group / this cult. I'm hearing somebody screaming right now. I don't know who that is. 3640 something. Oh, I missed that number there. Sorry. I'm hearing somebody screaming. Someone's throwing something. Who is that? Oh. Bless. This is also why sadly high abuse. Yep. They may be turned on by the idea of humans acting like animals. That makes me think, what's that show, Euphoria? Something just came out about that. They may be turned on by, obviously be careful when you're at the park as well. You'll notice these people acting like animals or even bestiality. So let me say that again because I got interrupted with a few channel messages. They may be turned on by the idea of humans acting like animals or even bestiality. So that's definitely something about monkeys, which of course is traditionally a very linked to a racist terminology, and eugenics, that's the word. If you don't know what eugenics is, you should totally look into it. Thank you for being here at YouTube. Where did that accent come from? YouTube. YT. YouTube. It's a funny word when you think about it. When you break it down. Members may also seek employment such as maintenance, plumbing, medical spaces, animal care, and sports industry, as well as aged care. And that is just revolting. So sad. Finally, I just wanted to say, obviously, it goes without saying, if you see any of this reported, if you see any of this taking place, or you know somebody who is experiencing this from this online cult, do what you can to stop it. Or you are just allowing it to grow bigger and bigger, you know? And who knows how that might come back to you, you know? You see something, say something. Something about hippies. Which is funny because hippies, they also have this... I'll go into it another time. Someone might be traveling soon. Something I've seen, a computer and jail cell. Something about a jail cell. Please let me clear. Divine discernment. Oh, that's nice. And then we have the Hermit card and the Five of Pentacles. So that can talk about being left out in the cold. I feel like there's a lot of manipulation that goes on between all these cult members, you know? And then the Hermit card, which can be about isolation, you know? And obviously, if you have the ability to find anybody who's part of this cult, please do so. Ooh. Okay, finally today, I will mention that for centuries, body fluids have been used by some occult practitioners. Body fluids can be used when casting spells and hexes. They can be used to tap into racial cultural lineages in order to harness energies connected to those lineages. Dark magic or bad magic is practiced by a number of the members of this dangerous online and offline cult / group. See, some people don't realize it's a cult, but they're starting to. If they see this, they definitely will, right? Okay, satanic rituals, both abusive and violent, as well as consensual, take place in this group. Though many who agree to these rituals have been coerced into doing so. In its most dangerous form, these practices and rituals involve RAP, murder and necrophilia, or the violations of grave sites. And then we have the world, like the World Wide Web. I just heard something about England's definitely coming through. Something about a redhead. Or I don't know, because, you know, dye, obviously. Like dye, hair dye, you know. Is that the last page? That's the last page of my channeled messages. But who knows? Might have to do this again. Let's see how this plays out, hey? Oh, look. And under the deck, we have the Three of Pentacles, which talks about collaboration. So if there's anybody that you need to reach out to stand up to these absolute revolting, disgusting creeps, then do so. Because there is protection in numbers. And everybody deserves to have their human rights respected, which includes privacy, dignity, health, safe home, etc., etc. Okay, so much love from me. This was a hard message to give. Ugh. God, I might go have a shower. Ciao, ciao.